Greetings everyone, this is Azuri from Sensational Touch, and I'm just here finishing up my almond soap. I just heated up some more of my melt and pour soap base. This is a detergent-free melt and pour soap base, which means it has no sodium lauryl sulfate, and it does not have any bubble boosting ingredients. That doesn't really help with the cleaning process. It just makes more bubbles, but we all know, well, if you don't really need the bubbles to clean. It's not the bubbles, it's the actual soap that cleans. However, this soap does lather nicely. It's not a non-lathering soap, but it doesn't need all that extra harsh detergent. It's not necessary in order to have a nice lathering soap. So I'm just mixing in my my soap right now because I still have some chunks in here. I don't need to heat it anymore. If I mix it, it'll melt. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. And then I'm going to add my color, which won't be too much coloring actually. I want it to be a fairly light color. I might not need to add any, because sometimes when you put a fragrance into your white soap base, the fragrance itself has a color to it. And for the almond, I like it to be really light, so the fragrance might give it the coloring that I need. I'll see as I add it in. Okay, so this is pretty much all melted in. I'm going to let it cool some. And then I'm going to add this base, after I add the fragrance and the coloring, to this. Now this I've already made. This one was a clear melt and pour soap base that I used, and I added some oatmeal into it. You can see the oatmeal, and that's going to give it a nice look, hopefully. So I'll add the soap into here. I'm going to put my camera down because I'm going to need two hands to do this, and I hope you can continue to see. So I've added 2 half teaspoons of fragrance to my soap. And anytime you want to make a soap with embeds, what you want to do before you actually pour it in is, one, make sure it's cool enough so that it doesn't melt your embed, and that the embeds pretty much stay whole, so that you can have the look that you want without that the soap that you're pouring in changing the shape. And you want to spritz your embeds with alcohol. Spritz it liberally. The alcohol will eventually just evaporate off. You won't have to worry about that. And so I just have my can of alcohol, and I'm just going to liberally spritz it with alcohol. And I think I'm going to add one more. because it's actually cooling off a little too much, a little more than I would like. This is a vanilla coloring. It's very light. It doesn't give much coloring at all, even though it's dark looking. When you mix it in, it's not going to give much color at all. So I like to use several drops of that when I'm doing the almond. And the alcohol just makes sure that the embeds adhere nicely to the soap, and that when you cut it open, it doesn't start to break apart into pieces. I'm going to pick up my camera again, just so you can see the pouring up close. And if you look at the soap, you can see that the coloring is not that dark. So it's a nice little, very light coloring, which is what I like for the almond. So I'm going to slowly pour in my soap. And if you see, like, you'll see little chunks coming out because it's started to, oops, I'm making a mess, cool off a little more. It's kind of hard to hold the camera and pour at the same time. Started to solidify already. I like working with the melt and pour because you could make it one day and have it ready and available for use that same day if you make it early enough. And definitely it could be available for use the very next day. So it's really convenient. You want to do something a little more quickly. Okay, I made a little bit of a mess there. You know what? I think I can remove this. And then you want to take it and spritz the top just to get out any bubbles that may be on the top. There actually are no bubbles on the top, so I'm not going to spritz it again. We'll see if I can. Yeah, it was really cool, so it kind of started to solidify already. I think I'm gonna like how that looks. Down one more time. I need 2 hands for this.